Hello, hello. We are recording. All right, one more minute, guys. We're going to start email marketing here in 1 minute. If you are here for D-Bar Tech Camp, you're in the right spot. Good to see everybody. Thanks for being on, especially the few of you that I can see you on camera, showing me that you're real people. I appreciate it. Thank you all. I don't know if you guys know this, but as a Zoom instructor, talking into 14 black boxes is not a ton of fun. So would love to see all of your beautiful faces. I don't have lipstick or my makeup on, so if you don't either, no worries. It's all good. Thank you, Renee. I don't care what you're wearing. If you got pajamas on, bring them. Kids there, dogs there, whatever. It's all good. 1 minute, we're going to get rolling with email marketing. 1 minute, 1 minute. All right, everybody, 30 seconds. I'm going to mute everybody out. We will have time at the end for questions, so feel free to type your questions in the chat, and I promise I will get through all of them. But we have a tight timetable here of classes back to back to back, so I'm going to do all the questions at the end, but feel free, like I said, just type any questions you have in the chat. And I will give contact information for myself at the end of each class, so if you need anything and you want to reach out, you're more than welcome to. Just let me know. If you need anything, and we'll get there. We're going to get started in about 10 more seconds. Got a couple people still trying to squeeze in the waiting room, and then we're going to get started. All right, recording is rolling. Let me get the slides going, and then we're going to get rolling. All right, everybody, on behalf of the Daytona Beach Area Association of Realtors, welcome to Tech Camp 21. I am excited to be here. Mark and staff and everybody that is involved in this, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. As you guys know, I love teaching and training and helping agents grow their business. So this is a fun day for me, and I am looking forward to doing it with all of you guys. Cool to see 20 of you guys on, and I know we have some more coming on. And I love that you guys are taking time out of your day to grow your business. I'm actually doing the same today. I took a class this morning, and I'm actually hiding out in the hotel that I'm taking the class at to do these for you guys. So if you're always learning and always growing, that is definitely a positive. So I respect and appreciate you guys doing that. For those of you that are here for some email marketing, here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about some interesting email stats. We're going to talk about the components of a good email. I'm going to give you guys a bunch of strategies to do email at a high level. And then I'm going to give you some ways to get a whole bunch of email addresses ASAP. So if you're looking to start an email list or build your database or grow your database or add to the database you already have, you're going to leave with some strategies on how to do that. And then we'll summarize, kind of wrap it up. I'll give you contact information, and then we will move on. So if you are just joining us, we're doing email marketing 1 to 2, and then social media 2 to 3, and then websites 3 to 4. And we will take a couple of breaks in between. I see some new faces. Some of you guys I know, some of you guys I don't. My name is Ryan Mchugh. I actually work with Professional Title and Fidelity National Title. And I got the tap on the shoulder to teach this today because I am a real estate trainer, coach, and I focus on technology, social media, lead generation, all those fun things. I come from the sales side, so I'm not one of the people that's never sold real estate that's trying to teach you how to sell real estate. I was never really a very good single agent, but I did run the top team in the state of Florida for a while, number 11 team in the United States in terms of units. We did between 40 and 50 closings a month for over 3 years in a row. Our best year, about 90 million in volume. And then I ran what at the time for 5 years was the highest ranked real estate office in the state in every measured category as well. And now I work with Cindy Weinberg at Professional Title, which you guys know, and for Fidelity National all throughout the state of Florida, kind of in charge of sales and marketing and training real estate agents. So looking forward to working with you guys today. If we've never met before, welcome. Thank you for being on. I appreciate you giving me some of your time, and I promise you were going to learn something today. So let's dive in. Let's talk about email marketing, what you guys are all here to talk about and here to do. I always like starting classes like this, especially on Zoom when they can be a little boring sometimes with stats, because I think it's important that you understand some of these things. When we talk about email, although it might be boring and not super sexy, I just want you to understand 91% of people check their email every single day, right? And when we look at that, that's higher than anything else that gets checked. It's more than social media. It's more than phone. It's more than text messages. It's more than anything. So email, although it may seem even now to some of us, right? We've been emailing for, I don't know, 20 plus years. There's still a reason we use it, right? Because 91% of people check their email every single day. There's more email users than social media users in the USA, which is big. In 2020, so last year, 255 million people had an email. And think of it that each one of them is a potential lead, right? If they have an email, they have a computer or a phone or some sort of technology, and they probably need a roof over their head as well. Email marketing scores higher in conversion rates than searches and social media combined, which is interesting. Each one of those conversion rate is way under 1%. In some cases, it's 0.5% or even 10%, 1/10 of 1%. So when we look at email and we know that those conversion rates can be a little higher, it's great. And email is also really easy to do in the masses. And email averages a 42-to-1 return on investment. What I like about email is it's essentially free, right? Unless you're using a big blast out service like MailChimp or any of those, or maybe your CRM that your broker or the MLS provides you. It's free or it's very, very cheap. So the return on investment opportunity is there. And it's something that you guys need to take advantage of. The ideal email, these are some actual email stats, right? The ideal email for generating responses is between 75 and 100 words. So we want to keep them fairly short and sweet, not those 20-page long emails that nobody ever reads, or they read the first line of and they move on. And we know that email with questions get 50% more responses. So end it with a question or put the subject as a question. The return on investment of cold emails is twice as high as the return on investment for cold calling, which is great. So those of you that don't like phone calls, I would imagine there's some of you. How many people just type yes in the chat if you like cold calling? No in the chat if you don't like cold calling. I would imagine more than half of us in the room probably don't love cold calling. If you do love cold calling, type yes. If you do not love cold calling, throw me a big no. So far, all no's. It's kind of what I expected. That's why you would take an email marketing class, right? No, that one's caps and exclamation points and a lot of O's. Lots of O's are good, right? Good. So the return on investment of cold email is twice as high as the return on investment for cold calling. Roughly 80% of prospects will say no at least 4 times before they say yes. That's why they always say, the value in being a salesperson is on the 5th time and after. However, most people are not doing that. So if you get a no or a negative response to an email, it's not the end of the world. No just means not right now. It will mean yes, hopefully somewhere down the line. And the average salesperson we know only makes an effort twice to reach a prospect. So if we know the sale is done after 4 times, but the average person is only reaching out twice, that's a little scary, right? That's where we know that we have room for opportunity. According to Boomerang, probably my favorite stat. Boomerang's a big email and social marketing company, if you don't know. According to Boomerang, emails written at a 3rd grade reading level have the highest success. So when all of you wizards out there are writing emails with words that I don't understand, that might be why you are not having luck. So think about when you're writing your email, can everyone read this? Can everyone understand it? Is it simple? Is it not too complex, not too detailed, with not a lot of big words? And I know some of you are thrilled with this stat, right? Because sometimes it is good to just team up with our 3rd grader and send out an email to be successful. So let's talk about what's in a good email. Now that we got the stats out of the way, the fun part, let's talk about what is in a good email. I'm going to give you a list of a lot of things, and we're going to talk about each one. And at the end of this, I don't mind sharing the slides, or I'll post them in my Facebook group or something. So don't go crazy taking notes. I want you to be able to pay attention. So what's in a good email? First of all, a catchy subject, right? The subject is going to be the first opportunity you get to close them. So having it be long and boring is very often not read. Having it be a question is always valuable. Something crazy, or the words, or having the letters RE, I'm going to type it in the chat, in the subject, is a very highly profitable form of an email subject. I just threw it in the chat if you don't know what I mean with the RE. I wasn't trying to be confusing there. But think about how creative or catchy of a subject you can make, because that is going to be what helps you drive people to get further into your email, which is key, right? Some other things in a good email, a signature. If you guys don't have an email signature, you're missing out, right? And this email signature should be pre-made. It should look pretty or nice, or at least professional. It should share who you are, maybe a picture of you or your logo or your brand. It should definitely have your phone number, your email, your website. If you have social media, that would be really great. If you have a catchy slogan, or if you've been on any of my classes about unique value propositions, that should be in there. Basically, you want it to be at least your business card, like very bare minimum should be a digital business card at the bottom of every email, so people can track you down in other ways. And also, so if they forward that email to someone else, it gives you a further chance of capturing or growing your database. So if you don't have an email signature, I know that might sound basic to some of us, but if you don't have an email signature, you're definitely missing out. Google and Outlook and Hotmail and iMail and all those fun things are pretty easy to create a signature. You can even do it with a picture or even a video in some cases. So if you don't have one of those, connect with me after if you need help. Would love to help you with that. And a good email will have an item of value. So what is an item of value? It doesn't always have to be monetary. A lot of people go, when I say value, they just think money right away. And that's the case some of the times, but it's not the case all of the time, right? So let's just say we met someone over the weekend at the dog park, and they were at the dog park eating their lunch because they didn't know where to take their dog. A good item of value could be a marketing piece or a list of the top 10 dog friendly lunch spots or breakfast spots or restaurants in the area, right? Didn't cost you any money, didn't cost them any money. I guess it would cost them money if they go there and spend money, but it doesn't cost you any money to create. It's a great marketing piece, and it's valuable to them because one of the struggles that they had was finding somewhere to eat with their dog. An item of value might be a gift card, right? And there's tons of digital emailable gift cards that are really valuable. So this could be Starbucks, could be Dunkin', it could be restaurants, stores, Target, it could be wherever. But if that person mentions that that's important to them, it could be that. It could be our app, right? We have a mobile app that you might be sharing or using. Maybe your broker or your MLS provides you some sort of an app or a showing platform or a way to set up showings or look at houses. Those would be items of value to people that are looking at houses. Right? It might be a connection. An item of value could be a connection to someone that they were talking about. So let's use the same example. You met someone at the dog park, they were sitting around, and in conversation came up something about how they were thinking about doing a refinance on their home. An item of value could be an app to help calculate those numbers, but it also could just be a connection to your favorite lender. And some of them might even be on the call, right? And that would be valuable because they need that connection. So all those things can be items of value in email. I just want you to think about, you don't necessarily have to have this entire list in every email, but you should have at least one of these things in every email. Information, the obvious one, right? So if you're giving them information, details, location, stats on the market, anything like that, that's kind of an obvious one, right? Entertainment, my favorite emails are entertaining, right? I like emails that I like combining both of those two bullets, information, and entertainment. I like to say that I try to make my classes be infotainment. So you learn something and you have a little bit of fun. Same strategy with an email, right? If someone can learn something or have a little bit of fun, or it makes them smile when they open it, that is a successful email, right? Just getting that touch in, that is going to be key. That will be valuable, right? An invite to something. Some of you that have been to my classes, we send email invites. Maybe it's an invite for the neighborhood garage sale, or to participate in a survey or a marketing program or a group of people. An invite to something as an email is always valuable, especially if it's Zoom or a clickable link, or something that they need to go to that they can reference back to that email. Basically, and this isn't on the list, but any email that contains something that makes it savable is valuable, right? I'm teaching a class at a new location in Claremont tomorrow, and one of the top emails that's saved in my phone right now is the location and what to look for, because the GPS is allegedly not right because the location is new. So that could be something that an invite is tied to that makes a valuable email. Options are always great. I'm not talking about stock options, right? I'm talking about options for what that person can do, because if you look next, there's a plan. So if someone has a plan, or you're trying to, help them with a plan to buy a house, to sell a house, to invest in real estate, to rent, giving them some options as well on either, hey, here are your options. We could list this house today, get your house on the market, get you sold. We know it's going to sell right away, and then help you buy something. Or we could try to find a lender that offers a bridge loan so we can buy something first and then sell on the back end, or you could stay put, right? These emails will be saved very frequently, which is good. So anything that includes options or a plan is always going to be a solid email that I want you guys to think about. Give me an example of a plan in the chat that you maybe have sent someone in the past, or options that you've given someone when they are, working in their real estate journey. Give me an option, or give me an example. Give me an example rather of a plan that you might have sent someone through email. It doesn't only have to be real estate. Can you think of a time you sent an email that contained a plan, that contained options, that contained an invite, that contains something entertaining, something informative, an item of value? Give me an example in the chat of something that you've sent that includes any one of these so far up to a plan. I'll give it a minute here. Come on, somebody give me one. There's no way none of you guys have never sent an email including any of these things. Come on, 30 seconds more. If not, go in your email right now and send one just so you can say you did. Good. Carlotta said options sent to a listing agent to negotiate terms. Perfect, right? We might send over a strong email negotiating terms. We could send that same to our buyer, right? We could say, hey, here's your options. You could ask for closing costs because maybe you need them, or we could try to pay a little bit less and get a credit, or however you want to negotiate that. Good. So options are always good. A good email should include a call to action. This is what most people miss out on. And this is not only an email, by the way, this is in sales. Very often in sales, people will do the heavy lifting. They'll do the explaining. They'll do the teaching. They'll do the training. They'll do the shuttling the buyers around. They'll go and they'll meet with the seller, learn about their house, learn about what they're about to sell it for. They'll do all the work on the numbers, the CMA, the comps, all that stuff. And then they won't close, right? There won't be a call to action. If the end of your email doesn't say, call me at 2:00 to discuss the above plan, you're missing out. If it doesn't say, meet me today at 2 or tomorrow at 4, so we can check out this new potential purchase for you, you're missing out. If there's not a call to action that says, call the lender today at, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, to see what your financing options are for this property, you're missing out. Every email should have some sort of a call to action, even if it's just planning for your next email or your next communication. Every single email needs to have a call to action in it. Give me an example of a call to action that you guys use regularly in real estate. Throw it in the chat, whether it be text or email, but I want you to think of a call to action that you can send someone in an email that's going to result in an appointment or a closing or a face-to-face meeting. Put your thinking caps on. Send me an example of a call to action. Don't overthink this. Just type something out. What do you think would be a good call to action to include at the end of an email? I gave you some examples. Come on, give me something. What's your feedback on the showing? Good. That's a good one. Give me another one. Give me a call to action. I want something that if you were, let's say you were emailing a buyer, what would you say to them? If you were emailing a buyer and they were thinking about making an offer on a property, or they were thinking about going to see a property in a different area, what would a call to action be? Come on, guys. We have to have call to actions in sales all the time. It might be meet me at 2 in the office, jump in my car, and we'll go check out the house, right? It can be very, very simple, but we need to have that in there. A good action step. Let's meet for coffee. Love that. Let's meet for coffee and discuss your options, right? Think about how simple that one is, guys. What is that going to cost you? I guess worst case scenario, if you go to Starbucks, 10, 12 bucks. And we're going to meet to discuss your options. We're going to meet to go over the plan. Carlotta said, drive with me or meet me at the house. Good. So meet me here and drive with me to look at the house, or I'll meet you at 123 Main Street at 2:00, whatever it is. Good. We have to think every single email that we send, is there going to be a call to action in there? Ashlyn said, I do a lot of rentals, so my call to actions are setting up appointment times to sign a lease. Good. Or get a deposit to hold the unit. Good. So if you like the property, meet me at 2:00 at my office to put a deposit down. Right. That's a perfect call to action. Love it. Or, hey, congratulations, you got the house, right? We send them a good email, a congrats. Hey, you got the house. I need you to meet me here for an escrow check, or to sign a lease, or to finish this addendum, or finish this document. Good. All those calls to actions are good. Good job, guys. A good email also contains a deal. People are always looking for a deal. Can anybody look in their email right now? And I am willing to bet at least $1, and I am surely good for it, that in your last 4 emails, and I'm going to do this with you, but I want you to look in the last 4 emails on your phone. Does one of them include a deal? And I will just tell you 3 out of 4 of mine do when I'm looking at it right now. right? I have a new product alert from a hockey company. I have a holy moly, join this group of professionals free. I have a your guide to hotels in Ormond Beach. I have a deal for photos on metal prints, right? 4 of my top 5 emails are deals. So think about it. If these big companies and these marketing machines are doing that to us, why don't we do that in real estate? A deal could be buy now and get a discount on your closing costs. Take action today or make an offer today for the best deal possible. Or lenders, it might be, lock your rate in today for $100 discount on closing. Think about what you can do to offer a deal. And it might be, hey, here's the best deal on the market right now. I think you should buy this because, and explain the deal. But people are always looking for a deal. And when they're laying in bed or sitting at the stoplight and they're scrolling on their phone and they're just looking at their email, trying to see if there's anything important or anything they missed, a deal is going to be one of the things that pops out that helps us close them with a call to action via email. Right. And at the end of the day, the last one is the most important. A good email includes houses. No matter what email you send, I want you to just understand, no matter what email you send, no matter what piece of content you send, this is not even only just email. I know we're talking email, but this is with anything that you're doing. You are in real estate, your inventory, your products are houses, right? And we need to understand that and just get back to the basics. This is so simple, but every email that we send out should include houses in it. Whether that's because it's a deal, because it's an option, because it's a plan, it should include a house in there every time. It might even be just, hey, checking in, saw this house today and thought of you. And it's a picture that you took outside of a house that you thought might be a good fit for them. But people, I have to tell you guys, or really, I hate to tell you guys, but they need us or they want us because they want access to houses. They want to find the houses that are on the market, off the market, that they don't know a lot about, that they're not sure about. And anytime you want to write a good email, there needs to be houses in there. So the MLS obviously has all the great features to send houses out of that, but maybe write up your own little report about why a house is a great deal, why a house should be in the plan, and send that. Every time you're sending someone an email, send a, hey, check out this house, that links them back to your website. So then they get lost searching in your website. You guys are all missing out on this opportunity, or maybe it's in the MLS portal that they're getting lost, wherever it is. But every single email that you send should include houses because that is what people need us for. And that's what they want to look at, right? If you think about, I don't know if anybody's bought a car recently, but I bought a car recently and every email, I'm still getting 100 emails a day now because I was subscribed and looking at things all over the place. Every single email now that I get from car companies, it doesn't say, hey, if you're financing, this is a great rate, because no one cares, right? That part's not fun. It doesn't say we have the best service department. It doesn't say our body shop is second to none. It doesn't say we have the friendliest salespeople or the best coffee. Every email that comes from a car company now, it has cars in there and I can click on them, get lost in their website and then start exploring payments or, the top end or the bottom end or the entry level or the sports car, whatever it is. This is the same thing with houses, right? We have things that people want to look at all the time. And every time you're sending an email, a good email is going to include houses no matter what. And if you're a real estate agent and you're not exploiting that or taking advantage of every email that you send having houses in it, you're missing out on the opportunity to tap into the inventory that you already have because our MLS provides it, right? So all these things should be in a good email. Now let's talk about email strategies. So this, what I want you to think of kind of is why you should send an email. Or who you're going to send it to or who your targets are going to be. And there's going to be a lot of examples here. And I'll give you some real life examples that we use and have used over the years in our sales business. So the obvious one is your database, right? It's always good to send a database email. You should be sending a minimum of 1 email per month to your entire database. And we're going to talk about the newsletter towards the bottom here. And that should be your minimum newsletter or your minimum email. But if you're not sending at least 1 email a month to your entire database, you're missing out on an opportunity to capture some leads and connect with some people that you might be missing out on. So we always used to build out a program that led us to talking to our entire database 36 times over the course of the year. And that seems like a lot, but that's 3 times a month, right? And a minimum of 1 of them every single month, no matter what, was email. And although I personally don't love communicating through email, a large percentage of the population does. And if we're not sending our database an email regularly, we're missing out on that connectivity with some of the people that are in there. Then past clients. And ideally, of course, all of these people should be in our database, so they're receiving that as well. But a thank you or some sort of a vendor connection or a checking in or do you need anything or an anniversary to our past clients is valuable, right? So let's just say today is November, the 9th. let's just say last year on November 9th, you sold someone a house. Today is a perfect time to email them and just say, hey, I'm not sure if you remember, today's your 1 year anniversary, just checking in on you. Wanted to thank you again for the business and see if there's anything you need, anything around the house, anyone that you know that needs help. Do you need a vendor? Maybe it's time to check out a lender. Maybe it's time to explore your options to refi, whatever it is. But past clients are an email strategy that if you're not doing regularly, you're missing out on. Vendor lists, spotlights, and deals. These are great emails to send, right? We talked about what's in a key email or a good email before, and one of those options was deals. And I want you to think about this with your vendors. So if you strike up a deal with one of your vendors that, hey, it's time to clean out the gutters, and I got a gutter cleaning guy or girl or company that is going to give anyone in my database 10% off if they book between now and the end of the week. That is a great email to send out. And then it's a great follow-up phone call because we're spotlighting one of our vendors. We're giving them a deal based on the value that they're in our database. And that's a great email to send. Referral partners. These are going to be your referral partners all across the country, all across the world. You guys should have an email list built or a tag built in your CRM or a group built, whatever you like to call it. Should have an email list built that's all of your referral partners in other areas. And if you don't already have that, hopefully that's a learning point today that you need to go do. But think about how important it is to have referral partners all over the place. And you guys are lucky. You live in an area. I live down a little further south in Florida, but you guys live in an area where there's a lot going on. Right? Think about Daytona and whether you like these things or not. I could think right off the top of my head, I think you have the beach, right? Which is popular for like spring break and summer. You have Bike Week. You have Daytona 500, right? You have IMSA races. You have all these different things that happen. You have good shopping there now. Think about all these things that happen and just let your referral partners know about them so that you're staying top of mind with them. So if any of them are sending people down, they know you're boots on the ground. You're the local expert that knows, hey, Bike Week's coming up. Do you have anybody in your database that likes to go to Bike Week? Maybe it's time for them to get a condo or a townhouse or a garage down here. So when they come down, it makes sense, right? Or do you have people that regularly come to the 500 or like to vacation here on the beach? Maybe it's time to buy a condo hotel in the area, whatever it might be. But connecting to those referral partners and just updating them on what's going on in your area once a month or so is valuable. Then the local agents, this is another strategy, right? The local agents, we want to attack them or have them on a list so that every time we get a new listing or a great deal, or we have the wanted ad, which we're going to talk about later, or we're looking for an opportunity, or maybe we have a buyer looking for XYZ, we can blast it out to all the local agents and see if they know anything that's coming or anybody that's ready, or if they have a good fit for that property. And yes, they could all check the MLS, right? But do all the agents do that? No. So we want to stay in front of them in a different way. And communicating via email like that is really easy. Then we have the obvious ones, the buyer, sellers, and the investors, right? You should have a buyer list in your email or a buyer strategy that all of your buyers get an email anytime you get a new listing or anytime a great deal comes up that you can connect them with that. Very often you'll have buyers that are just on that list for years that have been cold and unresponsive and we don't even know if they're alive. And then all of a sudden we send them a listing and they respond, right? So if we're not regularly sending those, we don't have the opportunity to capture. Then sellers. Attention all sellers in Ryan's database. The market has been trickling up and rates have been, starting to trickle up again. If you've been thinking about selling, now might be the time. This might be it. This might be the top value, might be between now and the end of the year, right? So just reminding them that deals are out there. Investors, sure, prices are high, but guess what? So are rental rates. And if you've been thinking about buying, now might be the time while the rates are where they're at. I don't know if you guys saw, but yesterday they announced they're going to start hiking rates over the next couple of months, first at the end of the year, then again, first quarter, second quarter of next year. So reaching out to those investors that are using financing, now's the time. Your farm area, always a good email strategy is to hit your farm area. So if you're working a certain neighborhood or a certain area, whether this is a geographic farm, a psychographic farm, a demographic farm, whatever it might be, if we're not working a farm area via email, we're missing out on some of those opportunities. The open house attendees, this is one of my favorites. We used to have a list of every single person that came into one of our open houses. Didn't matter the price point, didn't matter the address, but every time we would do an open house, we would blast that open house invite to everyone that was on our past open house attendee list. A lot of times they would show up at the next open house to be able to ask us questions or build the relationship. They like to get these emails knowing when you have an open house because they know it's a time for them that they can come ask you questions and bother you. And you are usually strapped to that house where you can't go out after them. So it's a great way to churn that part of the database just by constantly building your open house attendee list. The unknowns, the unknown leads, these are your people that have never answered anything, right? You've sent carrier pigeons, smoke signals, text calls, whatever else you could possibly send people, and they just never answered. So they're on a list. That's all the unknowns. And these people just get a little bit of everything. They get the weird stuff. They get the fun stuff. They get the buyers, the sellers, the open house invites. We're just trying to work through that list to be able to bring some people to life, right? And you'd be surprised if you grow this list large enough, every time you send a blast, sure, you're going to get some unsubscribes, but you're going to also get some people that come out of the woodwork that you didn't even think of. Listings is the obvious one, right? If you're not using listings like we talked about before, houses are a good strategy to have an email, or a key thing to have in every email. If you're not sending listing emails every single day, you're missing out. You should have a hot list set up, or a hot sheet, whatever you call it, set up that every time there's new listings coming out, they're automatically going out to all different people in your database at all different price points in all different areas, because listings stir the pot. The wanted ad. If you've been in some of my classes before, we've talked about doing the wanted ads. These are when you basically have an old-fashioned Wild West wanted ad that instead of having a picture of the outlaw Josie Wales or whatever his name is, you have a picture of a house that you're looking for, or a criteria that you're looking for. So for instance, wanted 2-bed, 2-bath condo on the beach between, I don't know, Daytona and New Smyrna, whatever it is. And the goal is you're blasting that out, hoping that people that maybe have that or know someone that has that connect with you and starts the conversation. And then the newsletter. This is one of those things that should be done monthly, every single month, no matter what. This is your business's newsletter. So usually I teach it that it's broken up into 3 pieces. The top third is going to be what's going on in your real estate world. So have you sold anything recently? Have you helped someone buy anything? Have you taken a new listing? Have you helped a renter? If you haven't done any of that and you're brand new on the call, maybe highlight some new construction or some model homes or a great deal going on, or maybe a cool program that your lender or your office has. Then the middle section is going to be some sort of a local spotlight or a community spotlight. It might be highlighting a business. It might be showing off a restaurant. It's the goal of the middle section of the newsletter that goes out every month is to show that you are boots on the ground. You live, work, and play in the area that you are advertising, or that you're marketing, or that you're, pretending to or claiming to be the local expert. And then the bottom section could be the wanted ad, right? Where we throw in the wanted ad to try to stir the pot. And then the market updates, the MLS, the board, they do these things for you, right? Where they send out the data, or they tell you the data, interpret that and repurpose it and send it out. If you've been on either of my last 2 Monday Zoom calls at noon, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because I did an example of these. If you have no idea what I'm talking about with the Zoom or the video, just get with Cindy Weinberg from Professional Title, and she'll send you the replays of that, so you can check out what I'm talking about. But basically, it's taking the data that the MLS or the board provides once a month, interpreting it and blasting it out, so people understand what's going on in the market more than just by seeing one of their friends making a Facebook post. All right, let's talk about how to get a lot of email addresses. Actually, does anybody have any questions on this section? Because we just covered a lot of strategies really quickly. If you have any ideas or strategies or questions here that you want to get off your chest, feel free to throw them in the chat, and I will talk about them before we do the last little section here. So far, we've talked about things that are key in a good email, right? A catchy subject, a signature, an item of value, information, entertainment, an invite to something, options, a plan, a call to action, a deal, and houses. And then we talked about strategies for emails, database, past clients, vendor lists, spotlights and deals, referral partners, local agents, buyers, sellers, investors, your farm area, anyone that's ever attended any of your open houses, unknown leads, those cold, dead leads, the listings. So of course, sending off listings, the wanted ad, the newsletter, and the market updates. How many people are doing any of these? I would love to just see in the chat, are you doing any of these, and which one are you doing? So you don't even have to type something long, just type which one you're doing if you're doing it regularly. Or if you think one of these is a good idea and you're going to put it into play, I'd love to see that in the chat too. Which one? Let's just pick one off this list. Let's say we got 25 people on here. Let's see 25 responses. Which one of these is your favorite that you're going to put into play in the next 7 days? Are you going to send an email out to your database, to all your past clients, maybe with your vendor list or your spotlights? Are you going to send something to referral partners across the globe, all the agents locally, to help blast out one of your listings? Tell me which one you are going to do in the chat. I only see 3 so far. I want to see 25. Come on. Are you going to send an email to your buyers, your sellers, your investors? Are you going to send an email to your farm area and let them know what's going on, or when the open houses are coming up, or the garage sale, or the trash day is? You're going to find all of your old open house attendees and invite them to your next one. Are you going to send an email to all those unknown leads that have been piling up in your database forever? Are you going to send someone that you forgot about listings? You're going to create a wanted ad and send that out. Are you going to create a newsletter template and send that out? Or are you going to do a market update? I got 10 out of 25. Come on, everybody else, let's go. Joan said past clients. Good. We're going to hit the past clients. Good. Renee, we're going to make the newsletter. Love it. Build that template and use it often. Brian, past clients. Good. Think about who you have that you sold something to between now and the end of the year from last year, right? So fourth quarter clients from last year, and reach out to them. Mike, same thing, past clients. Good. Terry, newsletter. Let's create that template and let's get that going out before the end of the year. There's still time to get out a November one and a December one. Good. Mary, your past clients. Good. Ashlyn, your farm area. Good. Pick that farm area that you're working and hit them. Jamie, same thing with the farm. Good. Kay Selby, new listing. Great. Blast out a new listing that you got. Chris O, the database. We're going to hit the database with some item of value. Norma, same thing. Linda, newsletter or the market update. Good. Could be both, right? And Rob Gross, good. Market update for the past clients. Let them know that maybe now is the time to sell or refi, and connect them to your favorite mortgage and title people, both of which I know are on the call. All right, let's talk about how to get a lot of email addresses before we kind of summarize and wrap up. Just to get an idea or a temperature of the room, how many people have an email marketing list already created? If you do, type yes in the chat. If you don't, say no. How many people have an email marketing list created? If you do, type yes in the chat. If you don't, type no. No, no, no. All right, couple no's, couple yeses, a little bit of mix. Those of you that said no, your homework is the second you leave here, create an email list or a group in your CRM that allows you to send emails to the masses. Those of you that said yes, you're going to use these strategies to grow it. Those of you that said no, we're going to use these strategies to build it. I want you to think of all of these and how valuable they are, right? Most of them are free as well. But if you're one of the 8 or 10 people that said no already in here, this is homework. Think about your current email software first. So if you use Google, if you use Outlook, Yahoo, AOL, whatever you use, it doesn't matter. But you can export all of your contacts that you've ever sent an email back and forth with. You can export those out and put them into an email list. So if you're not already doing that, like I'm a Google guy, and I will just tell you, you can just go to Gmail and just click contacts on the top left, and it will list everyone you've ever sent an email to and everyone that's ever sent you an email. And you can filter it and get rid of some of the, the stores or the company credit cards or whatever, but you can build an email list just by that. Then your cell phone contacts, right? If you guys don't know this about your cell phone, you can export what they call the V card or the contact card for all of your contacts in your phone. I'm an Apple guy. It's probably actually easier on Android because you just sync them to Google Contacts. But if you're an Apple guy or girl like me, you can just log into your iCloud, which is your account basically that controls your whole life in Apple, your whole Apple world. You can go to the button that says contacts, select all, and hit export vCard. And then you can format that into a spreadsheet, and one of the columns will be emails. So if you look at your phone, everybody do this. Take out your phone right now. I'm not going to make you call anyone, don't worry. Take out your phone right now and go to the contacts section. And if you go to the last contact in your phone, which you can do by doing the little sort filter, or you could scroll down for like the rest of your life, under your last contact should tell you how many contacts you have. I think Android, it actually puts it at the top. Apple, it actually puts it at the bottom. But you should be able to say how many contacts you have. And I want you to type that into the chat. I want you to type how many contacts you have into the chat. Now, obviously, they're not all going to have emails, right? But I promise you a lot of them are. And you're going to look at this and be able to start your email list right here. I'm looking at my phone. I have 6,537. So if I'm starting an email list, obviously, you're not going to have all of those, right? But just scrolling through my contacts, some of the contacts are in just as an email. So you know that you have some right there. So a lot of you have big numbers here, right? Even a couple hundred, right? If you look at some of the smaller numbers in the chat, 430, 530, 420, 840, the standard return on a database in a real estate business is 12-2 or 6-1. So if you have 428, that's what, that's like 80 deals a year that your database is doing. If you have 840, that's like 120, right? There's tons and tons and tons of deals hiding in here. So use your cell phone contacts, export these, and turn these things into an email list. If this is the first time anyone's ever told you to do that, shame on whoever's been teaching you stuff, but get out there today and build this email list based on what you have. Then I want you to think about your social media, right? Who do you have on social, Facebook and Instagram, that you can extract those email addresses? Think about LinkedIn. Every LinkedIn is going to have an email tied to it. That's a big one. Think about landing pages. Maybe your broker, your company offers you something like a landing page, a squeeze page, a lead gen page. I know there's a million different names for it. I call them landing pages, but whatever you call them, are you creating landing pages where people can type in their email address to get more information about something? Are you running any ads to grab email addresses? The lead generation form on Facebook is awesome for this, right? It allows you to run an ad and the people have to punch in something that's accurate, because to have a Facebook or an Instagram, you have to have either an active working email or phone number. So if you're not using ads to your advantage just to grow your list, you're missing out. Then I want you to think about sign-in sheets, right? How many sign-in sheets do you have from old open houses that are sitting in a pile somewhere that have some emails on them? Or maybe sign-on sheets for events that you've done, or maybe you've gone to an event and there was a registration. I want you to think about that. If you're going to events, hosting events, holding events, a part of events, sponsoring an event, part of what you deserve or what you should be getting is the email list, right? That's your right to market to those people. So think about your sign-in sheets and how you can turn those into pieces of business. Then giveaways. Giveaways is always a great way to grab emails, right? You could do a giveaway on your social media for a $25 gas card, or maybe a turkey at Thanksgiving, or anything like that you can connect and be able to grab emails just based on you doing a giveaway. A giveaway is always going to turn into easy email addresses. All right, and then we kind of talked about events, but if you're doing events, think of an event that you do regularly, or maybe that you go to on the weekend. Maybe you go to a dog rescue event or a convention or something like that. And when we look at that, we can use a small giveaway at an event, right? So a combination of the last two, a small giveaway at an event to capture emails, right? So last weekend I did a Cars and Coffee event. And at that event, you do a $25 gas giveaway, and all the people have to do is put their email in, or their phone number in, or their social media in, or whatever it is that you want to collect. Obviously, we're talking email today, but if they put their email in, they get an opportunity to win whatever that giveaway might be. So in summary, email lists are powerful. If you don't have one, which I know a lot of people didn't at the beginning of this class, I'm hoping that you leave here today and create one. If you've been struggling with strategies on how to create one, just keep in mind that you can do it based on everything we talked about today. Mark actually is recording this, so there will be a replay of this hiding somewhere. And I will do this class again on one of my Monday Zooms, which I will let you guys connect to if you want to dive in deeper. And I will also stay at the end here for questions once we wrap up. I just wanted to give a shout out to Kerry, who does all my slides to make these things actually look nice, because I'm not talented enough to ever do that. So Kerry, thank you for that. And I just wanted to leave you with my contact information for a minute here, and then I will jump on to answer any questions you might have, or just to chat before the next class, which is going to be social media at 2 o'clock. So if we're not connected already, connect with me on Facebook or Instagram. My email is on here, and I have a private Facebook coaching group. And if you're not already working with Professional Title, Cindy and I would love to connect with you there. And we are teaching a social media class in person Friday, and we do a Zoom every Monday for free that if you connect with Cindy, she will get you onto. Anybody, any questions before we take a little break here before the social media class? Anybody questions, concerns, struggles, strategies that they want to work on in building their email list? Feel free to either type them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and you can come back on and ask away. I will stay on for a couple minutes. If not, the next class is going to start at 2 o'clock. Anybody questions?
Hey, Ryan, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, just a quick, I saw you use Constant Contact.
Yep.
Are you familiar with that program?
I am. Yeah, I actually use that in our title world as well.
Okay, cool. So should I be digging deeper? That program probably does a whole lot more than what I'm using it for. I mean, I use it for lots of things, pushing out listings and things like that, but I bet you it's a lot more.
The big things are invites off there, right? Connecting and using it to be able to invite people to things, making sure that you get capture. They have a button feature. I use the button feature in Constant Contact all the time where you can place a button. It could be a clickable image or just a button that you place in the email. And then when people click on that, it drives them somewhere. So I use that for registrations for Zooms. I use it to drive people to landing pages if I want them to see certain information or maybe see a certain listing or a blog or a vlog or a website that I put up that I want to drive them to. That button feature is very valuable.
Okay, cool.
The list creation in there is also really awesome. You can make as many lists as you want. So all those list examples that I talked about, you can make and have 10, 15, 20, 30 lists in there without any kind of a problem, so that okay, if I have something that specifically comes up that I need to connect with people on, I can use that list feature to do that.
I have that. Yeah. I have that. Thank you. Yeah, I've got about 6 lists in there already. So very helpful. Thanks.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Anybody else? Any questions? If not, 2 o'clock, we will start the social media section of this. We're going to cover 10 quick social media tips to drive engagement. And if you're not already booked, this Friday morning, I'm doing an in-person social media class as well that we can get you into. Anybody else? Any questions?
Okay, thanks, Ryan. We'll take a quick break, and he'll be back at 2 o'clock to start with social media.
Perfect. Sounds good. We'll be back same place, same time at 2 o'clock. So if you want to stay on here, you're more than welcome to. I'm just going to throw some music on and get a couple things done. If you have any questions, just feel free to jump on. I don't mind chatting, and it doesn't have to only be email related. If you want to chat about something else, feel free. Mark, can you kill the recording until we start back up at 2, or is it all one?
Yeah, I'm going to make it separate recordings. So as soon as we're done here, I'm going to pause that. Yep.
Perfect. All right. We are good here to kill the recording. And then anybody, if you want to chat or anything, feel free to stay on.